Alrighty, we are pretty much ready to get going. Let me just pull the chat window back up here where I can see it. Okay. Hello everyone, my name is Tim, go by foamyguy on GitHub and Discord. Gonna get back to streaming some work on CircuitPython libraries this morning. We're gonna work on some of the display IO updates that I have pulled up here in this PR. Before we just dive straight in though, if you're new to the stream, if you never watched before, sorry, my cat's down here trying to get some attention from me too, so playing with him a little bit. If you're new to the stream though, if you've never watched before and you don't know anything about any of this stuff, CircuitPython is a version of Python that can run on tiny computers called microcontrollers. I've got one right here, which is a Adafruit PyPortal device. So you can see on the back of it, this main chip here is the actual microcontroller. That's where the main brain of this device is. In this case, this one also has Wi-Fi inside of this little chip over here. And you can see on the back side of that, it's got a screen built into this one. So we'll be working on this device because we're playing with display IO stuff. Hey there, Johnny. Good morning. And the main website for CircuitPython, if you are new to it, CircuitPython.org, you can go here to learn all about it. As well, this is where you go if you want to download it for your devices. So I think there's been a new release since the last time that I used my PyPortal. So maybe we will probably update it today, I think. Yeah, Alpha 4, I'm pretty sure I don't have on there yet. This is where you come to learn about it. This is where you come to download it. If you do like the CircuitPython project, if you want to help contribute to the project, there's a couple ways you can do that. It's an open source project, so just like I'm doing in this stream, anyone is allowed to work on CircuitPython itself. You can work in the core, you can work in the libraries. Everything is all hosted on GitHub, so you are certainly encouraged to help contribute that way if you are familiar with software development. If you are not necessarily, or you want to contribute in a different way, another way that you can do that is by supporting Adafruit. This is their website, adafruit.com. This is the company that is providing the primary financial backing for CircuitPython. They pay folks full-time to work on the CircuitPython project and manage the community and all those good things. So another way that you can help support the project is by purchasing hardware from them so that they can continue, obviously, to help pay folks who are working on it. Nice. Let's see. Johnny's routing a 4-relay ESP8266. Oh, that's always fun. Yeah. Dig through the component drawer, try to use up some of the stuff you got. Yeah, I hear you there. ESP12. That's always fun to kind of piecemeal stuff together. You can always buy the exact parts you need to make a given project, but most of us who have been doing this stuff for a while, we obviously have kind of a parts bin that's probably overflowing with all sorts of stuff at this point, so it's always nice to go kind of fishing through the parts bin and see what you can reuse, certainly. So yeah, this is the Adafruit website. Purchase hardware from them because they, again, are the ones supporting the project financially. So great stuff there. Okay, I think we're ready to dive in. So like I said, we'll be working on display IO stuff in this stream. I think I'm going to start with working on some of these max size reviews. So to catch folks up, if you're not familiar with what's going on here, basically inside of display IO, there's a class called group. The group class can hold 0 to many elements which can get shown on the screen. Typically it's going to hold like either other groups or it's going to hold tile grids, which are the primary sort of building blocks for display IO to put stuff onto the screen. Yeah, chip shortage definitely making it a little tough to come by. Certain components definitely. So now is definitely as good a time as any to raid the parts bin if you do have stuff, because it is tough sometimes to buy specific components right now. I can see that. Hey, Samurai, how's it going today? So group, like I was talking about, group recently got updated to where you used to have to have like a max size parameter for the group, and then you could not add more than that many things into the group. But it actually got replaced to use Python list internally. And of course, with Python list, you can actually just append pretty much as many things as you want. Obviously, there's still a cap on the memory. If you try to make too many objects, you will still run out of memory. But it used to be a hard cap. You actually had to say, like max size 4. And as soon as you try to add the 5th item, it would raise an exception. And it no longer does that. It allows you to just keep adding and adding again until you run out of memory. So Lay Samurai, actually, who is in the chat, has put together this PR for us so that we can track the progress through this, and we're actually doing really good. We're just about done with the vast majority of these, so I'm going to try to wrap up the ones that are left today, and possibly do some in the Learn Guide repo as well, because I think there's going to be quite a few over there that need to be done. And then, depending on what we're looking like on time, maybe I will work on display text. There's some stuff inside of there that's also sort of related to this that I want to try to look into. But I'll start with display IO layout, because this looks like one of the last few that are not merged yet. There is also one in the community bundle, which is a library that I created, display frame. So I'll review that one as well and get it merged. But I'm going to start with display IO layout, because that one's got kind of a lot of stuff in it. So we're going to come here and make sure the actions ran, and it does look like they have been run. So I know lately GitHub has been, not approving those. I don't know if they like reset everyone's things or if I'm just not used to how that system works, but they've been, setting it to where those actions don't run until somebody approves it, unless if you have contributed more. But it looks like they did run in this case. And so we're basically just going to go through and try out all of the examples. I'm guessing the vast majority of stuff that has changed is mostly examples, although I do say that, and actually the first thing I see here is inside of the module itself. This one's in the grid layout. So grid layout grid layout does, I believe, extend group, and yeah, we can see it right up here. It extends group, and so it used to, of course, accept that max size and then pass it into its parent group instance. So we'll test out the grid layout. We'll test out any of the other widgets that do make use of max size, and we'll test out all the examples. And then as long as we don't run into any trouble, then we will get this approved and merged. Some of this stuff as well is moving over to the CircuitPython.org repo slowly but surely. So some of it will end up no longer residing in this display IO layout repo. But for now, it is still here until we have the bundle and the project bundler and everything all ready to go, so that it can still be nice and easy to download all those requirements. So once we get all of that stuff squared away, then we can kind of remove everything out of here, and they'll all live in their own separate repos and stuff like that. With respect to, oh, nice. Oh, okay, cool. Lay Samurai is working on display text. Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking about, was inside of display text, which is a library for making text to put on the screen. There was a similar kind of idea called max glyphs, where it kind of declared the maximum amount of letters, or characters, I should say, that you could use in your label. And it was pretty much the same type of restriction, right? You set it to a certain number, and then you can't have any more characters than that. So it looks like Lay Samurai is working on that. So then we'll find something else if we do end up with some extra time. That's really cool. And yeah, I think first thing we need to do is just get this PR loaded up so that we can check the code on it. I think I have it open. Yeah, I do have it open here in PyCharm. So I am just going to go find the PR number. I think it said 40. Is that right? Yeah, 40. We're just going to go check that out. We could maybe fetch, I think maybe it fetches for you, but I'm not entirely sure. So we'll go ahead and fetch explicitly anyway. And we'll go checkout, PR checkout 40. That's going to move us over to the branch. Oh, there's a new version of the GitHub CLI. I don't remember how I installed that, truthfully, so I'm not sure how to update it. I probably just took over the chat there. It's just links to the GitHub release page. I'll have to figure out how I got that. I don't remember if I installed it with apt or installed it from the web or what. Okay, so we don't really need to be inside of docs right now. We will test building the docs once we get the rest of the stuff checked out, but first we are going to start with just making sure that max size is gone. So the way that I like to do that is just with git grep max size like this. Installed with apt, okay. Let me see, maybe we can check. See, apt, do I go search maybe? I don't know if it will, right. Yeah, I find this problem with apt actually fairly regularly. I think is there a flag? I'm pretty sure there's a flag you can use. I don't know, we're getting off the rails a little bit. Apt exact search. I think there's a flag you can use to make it exact. I feel like I've accepted these cookies a bunch of times now. Okay, right. It's using, it can use regular expressions, so you can go like up caret thingy, then your word, and then a $sign. It does look like it's installed through apt. It knows that it's upgradable, so it might just be as easy as sudo apt install ph. That'll go ahead and update it. Cool. Okay, so now it will stop printing that thing, and also possibly there's new features and all sorts of stuff. Grep installed gh. Oh, that's a good way to do it too. Yeah, use grep to filter by only installed ones. That's actually a really neat trick. I never thought about that before, but yeah, because it says well, this one said upgradable instead of installed. I think that's just because there was an upgrade though. Yeah, so you could do the same idea with the word upgradable. That's actually a pretty smart idea. Thank you for that tip. That's a good way to find stuff with apt that you do have installed. Anyway though, back to here, we're gonna grep, and this did not return anything, which means that there are no more instances of that string anywhere in any of the files in this project, so that's really good, or all the files that are checked into the repo at least, which is, mostly what we care about, certainly. So I noticed, I think grid layout did change. We will check back here. Yeah, grid layout changed, so we'll start by just testing out the grid layout example, and then we'll just kind of move on through the rest of the examples, all the ones that got changed. So it's for Pygame. Well, this is for Pygame display, right? So we could actually just run this one on the computer. This is using Pygame display library, so it runs inside of a Pygame window right here instead of running on a microcontroller. So the rest of these are all made to run on microcontrollers. This one is made to use another library that kind of gives you a Pygame window like this that runs on a PC or a Raspberry Pi, but then hooks up to display I/O the same way. So you can use all of the same display I/O widgets and groups and everything, but have them draw to the PC or a Raspberry Pi screen like through HDMI cable. So that one is looking fine. I don't see any issues there. I'm not really anticipating any issues with any of this stuff, but definitely always good to just take a look through everything and check stuff out when we can. Because certainly there have been a number of times in my life, both in CircuitPython and the rest of my development work, where I don't really think there's going to be a problem with something, but turns out there is. So let's get the PyPortal plugged in here. Switch back to the camera for a second. I think that, like I was mentioning a little while before, I think I probably do not have the latest build of CircuitPython on this device, so we'll start with updating that. We can always check, of course, by looking in boot out.txt, and yeah, I have alpha 3. So let's go ahead and grab alpha 4. Hey Dexter, yeah, hope you're doing well as well. Thanks for tuning in here. Let's go PyPortal. So we'll download alpha 4, and we will, I'll go back to the camera actually. We will go to bootloader mode just by double tapping the reset. I feel like my mouse is being a little weird today. I don't know what's going on. Maybe it's not liking this mouse pad for some reason. I don't know. I changed the battery once. Maybe the battery I got was also not quite full or something. Not entirely sure. Anything in the way of it. Anyway, though, so we got that downloaded. I'll switch back to here. And we want to go to bootloader mode. So the way we do that is by double pressing the reset button, which is on the back here. On the PyPortal, it's right down here, or this is actually the top of the device if it was right side up, but I'm going to double press on that, and the LED right here, it turns red and then green after a second. And now, instead of having a CircuitPy drive, we'll have a portal boot. And all we have to do, super easy, is just paste our UF2 file that we just downloaded right onto there. So we'll go find that file that downloaded. I need to clean out my downloads folder, it looks like. Copy that, and we'll just paste it right in here. And that's all we have to do to update the firmware. So that's actually super cool. That's one of the nice things about CircuitPython is, of course, it's very easy to run your code and stuff, but as well for just installing the system itself. Just drag a file onto the drive, and that's all you really have to do. So that's super nice. We will open up Mu here because we are going to run some code on the PyPortal. Can go ahead and get CodePy opened up. So this is one of the examples, I think, from display text. And we don't necessarily need to keep it right now, I don't think. So I'm going to delete this stuff, and then we'll end up putting our layouts, or our examples, rather, into here. Hey, Neradoc, good morning, or whatever time of day it is for you. Morning for me here, but nice to have you. So let's grab this one, grid layout simple test. This will be the one that is made to run on the microcontroller instead of the PC, like that one we saw before. So we're going to paste this into here. I do think it does the same thing, essentially. It's making a grid layout with those same 4 items, I believe. Actually, let's go the other way. Let's go this one on the right and this one on the left. And all we have to do is just save that code, and it will automatically update on the device and start running. So we can see there, this is running and doesn't look like there's any problems with it. I think we're good to go on grid layout. I don't believe there's any other... Yeah, it looks like there are no other grid layout examples. Oh, actually, this one is a grid layout example as well. It's the simple test. Whoops. So let's run that one as well. We'll copy that code. We'll paste it into Mu. We bring the camera back here. Hey, David G, how's it going? Close that. And let's save this here. And I think this is mostly the same. Yeah, it looks like, in fact, it might be the exact same. So that one, of course, we have no trouble with as well. So now I think pretty much we're just going to run through the rest of the examples. I suspect probably all or at least the vast majority of the examples probably got changed to remove this max size. So you can see the change here is pretty much what is going to have happened across the board, which is just removing all of the instances of max size. Got the notification. Nice, yeah. Working on display IO library stuff today. So specifically, we're in the layout library right now, display IO layout, and dealing with this new version of group, which does not have the same max size restriction. So I think we'll just work our way through the rest of these here. Annotation is the next one up. So same thing here. I'm just going to delete the code. I will pull the camera back. Ooh. All right, I changed tabs. Let's go to camera. Paste this, and then all we have to do is save it. So that's going to run. We do have an error, actually. What is this error? Oh, MPY. Let's see if we can maybe zoom in just a tad on this. Got a little bigger, and I have the focus set to manual right now because the autofocus on this device is not super great. It kind of goes a little crazy, so we want to go further out or back in. I'm not actually... Is this live? Yeah. Oh, this is not. Yeah, this is sensitivity. Focus. This is what we want. Nope, wrong way. There we go, much better. Okay, so you can see the error there. It says MPY compatible, CodePy line 12. I'm guessing probably I need to just grab a different version of a library. Line 12 touchscreen library. You know what I still have not done yet? We might take just a real quick brief detour here, actually. I have this Python script which downloads the latest bundle for me, and it downloads it every day. But it's still set to the 6.x. You can see it right there, 6.x MPY bundle. So it should be pretty easy to update, I think, if we just check in here. Maybe not as easy as I was thinking, actually, because this is going to be latest. What's this return? So we're taking that, and then we're looking inside of, yes, bundle 6. That's what we want right there. So we just change that to a bundle 7. Is that really all we need? Bundle dash 6 is here. And is there also a 7? There is. Okay, so I think we could probably just change this. 7. That might be all that needs to be done. Let me try running this. Whoops. Permission denied. I think that's because of the way. That's because of the way that I set it up. It actually does run as root because it runs inside of, what is that called? Cron jobs? Yeah, cron tab. I don't remember exactly why I needed it to be root. I think it just wasn't working, and that was my simple solution. So my guess is maybe we can just go sudo. It's going to download, and yes, we do now have 7x.mpy, so that's perfect. Now it will be downloading 7 bundle every day. And touchscreen, that's the one that we had the problem with. So we're going to grab touchscreen. Touchscreen. What is focal touch? I don't actually know. Focal touch. Lib. We'll find touchscreen in here. We'll delete it. We'll paste this, and this is just due to there were changes to the way that the MPY compiler works between version 6 and 7. Looks like I didn't copy that, so let's copy it, paste it here. And those changes to the MPY compiling, they made it so that the old libraries do not necessarily work. So Oh, right. Yeah. So actually, we'll need to do one more thing for those tests. I'll need to rerun those grid layout tests because I did not actually copy the library to my device. Only the grid layout is probably the one which it matters most for because there would have been a max size here in the initializer, but we'll definitely want to be testing the newest version. So I did accidentally skip that step. So let's grab this. Files and copy layout. We will go back to lib. We'll delete it from here. I think I'm close to out of space, maybe. Yeah, it's going to tell me I don't have enough space. You know what I need to do is 2 things. So my computer keeps this trash file here, which is like a recycle bin type thing where after you delete something, it goes into there and you can recover it afterwards. I think what has happened though is I actually have older versions of a bunch of libraries on here. And I don't really need them. Maybe. Some of this is working stuff though, actually. Okay, I think what I'll do maybe is delete ones that I just kind of know I probably have not been working on. Because I may come back to some of the rest of this code at some point. I might have done something in there. Ooh. So this is just going to clear some space on my device. That way I don't have to keep deleting that trash file. CodePy in here. Text map. Box. Is this maybe... This might be like an early version of what eventually became bitmap label. Okay, so we should delete this now. We should have some extra space now to where we were not going to have to go and delete that every time. Another place to maybe save some space is images. Let's just see if there's any gigantic images. Some pretty big ones. Loading screen. Background image. Let's delete some of these as well. That's also going to give us some space back. One more place where I will check is fonts, and I actually have two fonts folders as well, which we don't need. These are both in examples. We could delete those. And we could also delete some of our bigger fonts here if we're not using them right now. Okay, this is probably good. I think I got the majority of the giant ones. And then we will, of course, clear the trash file. Okay. Let that go. Oh, include our image too. That's fine. Okay, we should have much more space now, so we should not be running into that problem where we're trying to paste stuff anymore. Now we can go back to what we were doing, copy this, and we're going to paste it into lib. And now that should be in there. We should no longer end up with that error we had before, which was incompatible MPY, at least not for the display.io layout library, although we do have it on a different library, it looks like. This one's on line 13, which is actually display.io layout, but we just copied... I do that wrong? Didn't we just copy this, which was Python files, was it not? These are Python files. So let's see, let's think about this for just a second. My guess is that maybe inside of layout, let me see what this says. This says line 13, widgets, switch round, incompatible. So my guess is that inside of switch round, it must... shapes. Yeah, this one is importing shapes, so we'll need to copy that as well. So let's go grab that 7.0 version of shapes. shapes. We'll copy that. Go right inside a lib. We'll paste it. Oh, we can delete the other one that way. We don't have any of the old files sticking around. Seems like my copy did not work. Oops. There we go. There we go. Now we got it running. And I'm just gonna bust out to REPL. Yep, just confirm that we are on Alpha 4 now. Just make sure that did go all right. And I think this is all this example does. You can flip the switch back and forth. It's mostly the example for annotation, right? So annotation is basically what's drawing these little pointer lines with the text on them there. So they're helpful for pointing out different parts of your UI. So you could use them for other stuff as well, but that was kind of their primary purpose there when it first got created. That one does seem to be good. I will go back and run those grid layout ones just to triple check. Again, I don't really anticipate any issues with them, but since we realized we didn't have the right library, the new version of layout library, we should go ahead and just recheck those real fast. So that one's good, and we'll do simple test as well, even though I think it may be the same. We could eventually change the simple test. There we go, to have more things in it. Although I guess if we're going to remove the widgets, maybe we don't do that. Okay, but that is good. We'll just work our way through the rest of them. So annotation worked fine. So Cartesian we'll check next. This one is cool. This one is a module. Jose, I believe. Jose David made this one. So it draws the X and Y axis of a graph there so that you could then plot lines or a bar chart or something like that inside of it if you wanted. That one looks like it's going fine. That was the advanced Cartesian. We'll do the simple one as well. Okay. Simple one, very straightforward. It does have a pinpoint you can use as well, so it's changing the little pinpoint there, or pointer is what it's actually called in the library. So that's good if you want to make like a line chart and then have a particular pinpoint be highlighted on it. You can use that. It looks like everything is going fine there. Dial. This one creates like a gauge. This one's pretty cool. Gauge with like a line pointing at it, kind of like a fuel gauge or something like that. It would be interesting. I should look into how this one works because I have been working as well on some tests to try to make circles in a different way. And it looks like there must be something going on inside of here to do the circle. I wonder if there's any math that I could possibly borrow from for that, but we'll keep going with this for now. Flip input, this one's next. Oops. This one is the switch, I believe. Okay, so oh no, it's not the switch. It is the it makes a number that you can count up or down. It's kind of like a number picker. It does want to use this font for the example. We'll copy that back to my device. I did delete fonts. I guess maybe this is my problem. See if it's in there. No, still same problem. Okay. Go inside of fonts. We'll paste. Oh no, it is in there actually. Oh, yeah. Paste. It doesn't like to let me copy out of here. file does exist. Maybe it's not looking inside the fonts folder. Oh no, there we go. Okay, running now. So this one allows you, I guess it's not just numbers either. You can put text inside of it as well. But it basically gives you like an up and down counter there. So you can kind of run through either like strings in a list or numbers, just counting upwards and downwards. And you can also do side to side if you want. Yeah, I've thought about that before, actually. One of the things I think would be really cool, truthfully, is for display I/O libraries in particular. I would love to check in a screenshot, maybe taken with bitmap saver. I believe that's a library. Bitmap saver. It lets you take a screenshot of whatever's on the screen. I think it would be really cool if we checked those into the repo. That way you could see an example of what all the examples are supposed to look like when they run. The other thing that we could do, which I think would be really cool, is we could maybe have tests that use OpenCV to compare back to the prior versions of those screenshots. That way you could have it like tell you right away at a glance, like if the screenshot changes or not. Sometimes it would be desirable, like sometimes you would be making a change and you would expect it to change, so you would go ahead and improve it anyway. But there might be times when you're not necessarily expecting it to make a change in the way that it appears, and it does, and that would actually help us catch that. So I do think that would be pretty cool to include pictures, both just to help folks know what it's supposed to do and potentially for automated testing as well. So let's see what's next. This was flip input. We did this one before already. This is our grid layout, the PC one that runs with Pygame. We did check this one as well. That's grid layout that ran on the PyPortal. Icon animated. Paste this. I'll pull the camera back. And I think do we have to touch maybe, or yeah. One thing that does seem odd is icons are not visible. The icons are supposed to be visible. Maybe did I delete something it needs? Let's check in there. Did we uncover a different bug, perhaps? So let's just take a quick look through this code and see what's going on. So setting up the display, setting up the touchscreen. Init class, this is used to set some high-level configuration options on icon animated. And we're creating 2 icon animated instances. Put them in a list, create a group, and our 2 instances into the group, show the group on the display. Setting auto refresh to true. If it gets touched, then do the animation. I think we may have found a bug of some sort. So I'm pretty sure these are supposed to be showing the icons even when they're not being touched. You can see kind of when I touch it, it shows up for a second there, but they're not showing when they aren't touched. Let me check also icon, I guess we don't have an example for that one. There's IconWidget. Does this extend IconWidget? It does. We should have an example for IconWidget. Maybe that's another thing we could do today is make one more example for that. Back when IconWidget got created, I was actually the one that created that, and when it got created, it was meant primarily for the touch deck project. So that's what I was working on at the time. And it looks like I just got focused on doing that touch deck and then never came back and added an example for it. I'm curious, though, if this problem exists with that as well. So why don't we build up a basic example for that and then see if that is also affected by the same problem. So let's start by looking in here. I think maybe we could just start with this and kind of tweak it to not use the animated ones. So we don't need to init. This stuff is specific to the animation stuff. It's like scale, the max size, because it's I think it is setting up some memory to hold that image. And so let's see what we need here for IconWidget. Another thing we could do, I may just look in the touch deck code as well. It's a label, it gets an icon, it gets an on disk. We have a label, we have an icon, have an on disk. We do not need the scale, we don't need the angle. Should still get X and Y, I think, because those are going to be part of quargs, and those are going to get passed upwards to widget, which extends, I think, group itself. Yeah, widget extends group, and then group has the XY. So that's where those XYs are going. We can keep those around. The same thing here. First, we need to change these to IconWidget. Put them in a group again. We can keep the same cooldown logic. This should be true by default. The built-in screen, at least. We'll just go print icon touched. Actually, we could maybe have it tell us which icon got touched. Don't need to zoom out. Okay, I think this is all we would need for an IconWidget example. Demo runs fine on the PyPortal. Static images to start and then animations when you press. Interesting. Maybe there's something weird going on with my PyPortal. Are you on what version of CircuitPython do you have, Samurai? Are you on 7 beta 4? Yeah, I have the same thing here. And I think we're not going to see them now, even when I touch, because it's not doing any of the redrawing. Let's try going back to beta 3. Or maybe even let's try 6.3.0 as well. 6.3.0 Samurai is on. Okay. That one we know is working. Let's try alpha 3. See if this is something between alpha 3 and 4, or if it's older than that. Whoops, really, I wanted that to go bigger. Alpha 1, there's alpha 3 right there. Save that. I'm sure I probably have already downloaded this before, but this is why my downloads folder is so really full of stuff, so I never go through and find stuff. I just download it again. Right though. So we'll copy alpha 3, we'll go to bootloader mode. Let's paste that in there. Same thing with alpha 3. So maybe you can check alpha 1. Well, let's see, we'll go back to the camera. Go back to bootloader mode. Boot. Ah, of course. And now I just updated my download script, and so I don't have the old bundle anymore either now. That's one of the tricky things when we are right on the edge of the MPY file changes. It's a little tougher to manage a little bit if you do a lot of switching back and forth. I mean, for most folks, you can just stay on one, and then you just have to update your stuff once, and then you don't really have to worry about it. But doing testing, of course, it's always good to bounce back and forth between different versions, and one of the ramifications of that is that you end up needing different ones some of the time, and other different ones other parts of the time. So I think we'll go the display layout. We should have the Python version of, and the Python files, those are not converted to MPY. I mean, they can be converted, but the specific ones that are actual Python code only, those ones don't matter with respect to different versions of MPY. So let's see, do we need anything besides shapes and text? Maybe image load? I'm not sure though. Let's start with these two. Line 10, touchscreen, right? That was the first one we had. Curious about this focal touch. I might go look at that library and see what it is. It's one of the ways I discover libraries, like if I just run across it while I'm looking for something else, I don't know what it is. Okay, yeah, this one does work. Let me get the camera back. This one's working okay. And this is on alpha 1, so we're close. Let's check alpha 2. I have my S3 somewhere still. Alpha 4 is funky. Alpha 3 as well. I had the same problem with on alpha 3. Static images. Yep, don't appear. So you're seeing the same thing. Let's go to S3 and check alpha 2. And what I'll do, I think, is I'm fairly sure this is not to do with the max size change, which is the main thing that I'm trying to look at with this review. So what I'll do is I'm going to check alpha 2. Once we see what that does, what I'll do, I think, is just move on to the rest of the examples. I'll check out the rest of the examples as long as everything else is looking good around specifically the max size thing. We can get that approved and merged, and then afterwards, I will come and try to make a simplified example, because I suspect whatever is going on here is not necessarily related to IconWidget and IconAnimated. It's probably lower level than that. So we'll try to make a bare bones example that recreates the problem, and then we can make an issue for it, and then maybe we can look into what change caused it, and then try to look into a fix. So let's go back to bootloader mode. Alpha 2. Of course. UI files, so like I was saying, it's a bit of a dance sometimes for this. Delete those. Go to my bundle. I want to search this time because I have stuff highlighted. Oh, and I just clicked without control. What? Alpha 2 works. So alpha 3 is where it started being broken. Let me just double check that. I'm always a fan of double checking, so I'm pretty sure that's what I saw, but never any harm in double checking. So I'm just gonna go bootloader mode one more time. This is gonna take over my screen. Yes, gone, yes, that's fine. Portal boot, we're gonna just copy alpha 3 back to that. Yeah, so works on 2, does not work on 3. And like I said, though, that's interesting. It's like we're on the REPL. Oh. Uh-oh. Got a hard crash. And I think once you're in safe mode, it won't run CodePy until you reset. So I'm not sure if that's related to our issue or if just maybe all of my different resets and updating versions and things. No, we're gonna get it again. Yeah, error duck, that's definitely true. Interesting. So I didn't get the hard crash on 4, but I also didn't get it the first time, or even the second time on 3, only when I came back and double checked it. Let's think for a second here. I doubt this is the issue. I'm slightly, I want to say suspicious necessarily, but I don't think this part's necessary. I'm going to take it out and see if that changes anything. This time it ran. So another thing I will mention is my OS, like you might have seen it just reset again there. My OS does sometimes cause it to reboot twice. I wonder if the hard crash could be something to do with, like, while it's trying to run something, it reboots again. What if we just try, like, this a couple of times? Because this will only go once when we do it this way. Just break out to REPL and back. So far, so good. I'm wondering, maybe the hard crash is something to do with trying to run twice. Seems fairly consistent so far. Okay. So we'll leave the hard crash alone for just a second. One thing I will do is I am going to make a file for IconWidget. Although, again, I guess if this stuff is going to end up moving. But even if it ends up in a different repo, it'll be good to just have this. Let's keep this here in case we want to change CodePy on the device. Let's put it back here. Okay. And let's check out the rest of these real quick. We're almost there. We did simple test already. I will go back to 4, I think, alpha 4. Yep, same results for Relay Samurai. That's good. Thank you for checking that out on your end. It's always nice to get like confirmation that it's not just something weird with my one device. Like I will say as well too, because like I do development all the time, right? Testing different versions of libraries, different versions of CircuitPython. You know, sometimes even like custom builds of CircuitPython. It is very possible at times that my device is just messed up in some way because of something I ran on it. So I definitely appreciate checking on your end as well. Okay. We're back to 4. Let's do switch, and let's start with simple test actually. Okay, looking good. Multiple. There we go. Got lots of switches. Looking pretty good. Alrighty. Okay, so that was the last one, right? Yeah. We will make sure the docs builds real quick, which actually I guess it must have, right? Because the actions passed, and the actions build the docs. Pretty sure. Again, though, I'm a double checker. Never hurts to double check. I think did I set this up last time? Yeah. Or not? Was that last time? I don't remember. I think one of you folks actually showed me that CP docs or mentioned it one day. Okay, so that did build. Everything is looking good there. So I think this PR is fine. Again, I don't think whatever we're seeing where those things are not drawing, I don't really think that that is related to max size. I think we're probably good here. Total width 7. Actually, let me just copy. Nice to just be able to copy paste this, that way I don't typo it. That way I also get the exact right punctuation. I still sometimes mess up whether it's a dash or a dot. Boot out. Looks like I have a custom boot out maybe as well. Yeah. Huh. I don't know what I was doing with that. Let's delete that. And I have delete. No delete in there? Really? Huh. Let's see, more. So my guess is maybe that it is something to do with on-disk bitmap. Good to note it here, though, just in case if it turns out that it is related to this, we'll at least have it written down somewhere that we saw it. For now, though, I think we're going to go ahead and merge this. And we'll make a release as well. This one, it did change code in the module itself, in addition to the examples. So if you saw, was it last week I was working on some more of these? Anytime when it made changes in the module, I was bumping the middle number there. If the changes were just in the examples, then I was only bumping the minor number. So in this case, we changed the module, so to follow that rule, we will bump the middle number in this case. And this was Samurai, right? This was you, I think, right? Yeah. Thanks for working on all of these, by the way, and making that giant post where we can track it all. I really appreciate that. Let's see. Oops. Trying to look at the chat there, and I accidentally clicked over to Twitch. Oof. I see. Yeah. That is going to make it a little tough to track down, but we'll get it there. 11,000, almost 12,000 editions. Whoa. You can install this with pip as well. Oh, I have done that. Oh, it's still here. Okay. Old version was 193. So we're going to go 1.10.0. Usually these release notes, they will have the pip link as well. I'm going to copy that one in there as well. Using CPython. The docs go to the right place? Yep. Okay. Alrighty. That is merged. Release is made. We will, before I forget, let's go check the box. Always fun to check a box after you do something. I think that might have been the last one in the main bundle as well. There's a couple more in the community bundle to take care of. There might also be a couple in the CircuitPython.org, I'm guessing, but I don't actually know for sure. And then, like I mentioned, I think before, the other thing we'll need to do, I think, yeah, I put a post here as well, is one guide repo. Take a look at that as well. So let's try to simplify this down. I wonder if we just change it to be on disk false, if it still does the same thing or not. Because we have on disk true, which is going to make it use an on disk bitmap instead of an in memory bitmap with image load. I'm kind of guessing that it might actually work if we don't use on disk, but let's see. Let's try on one of them. Missing required or positional argument number 6. 3, 4, 5. What? I ran it the second time and it worked. I didn't change anything. Now that is interesting. This is line 72 in IconWidget. Which is creating a label. Bitmap label specifically. Bitmap label has a bunch of other... Oh, this is line 67. Did I say... Or it said 70. 72? 72. So I'm pretty sure that font is the only positional argument in map label. Extends label base. Yeah, this says just font and then quargs. Yeah, same thing here. This one, the only positional argument is font. Every other argument is a, I don't know what those are called, named argument, I guess, or a keyword argument, I guess they are. Is it really every other time? No, there we go. We got it twice in a row. It does show the icon though, so my suspicion about being related to on-disk bitmap seems to be correct. And interestingly, it seems like we also have something else weird going on where this is now crashing half the time with something related to the arguments in label. We keep peeling back more and more layers to the onion here. Binary searching. Yeah, hey Mad Bodger. How's it going? That is so weird that it would crash sometimes. I mean, I gotta think that's a different issue though. So while that is super weird, I think I'm gonna skip it for now, and maybe after we get a self-contained example of the image problem, maybe we'll come back and try to get a self-contained example of the label problem here as well. Oh, nice. Not quite that many changes with display IO specifically. What is word? Is this WC for word count? I don't think I've ever used that before. Okay, so let's go to the Learn Guide for display IO. There should be an on-disk bitmap basic example. And we can take that basic example and see if it has the same problem or not. Gives you lines, words, and characters. Yeah, that's really cool. Sure, it's part of Linux, right? Yeah. Cool. Let's pick that one up for the arsenal. Let's go to examples. Bitmap. On disk. It's weird to hope that this fails, but I'm hoping that this fails in the same way. We have purple. No. Okay, so I saved purple, but I have not saved my CodePy yet. So it was running the old file, And it did get that label thing again, but let's do this. Oh. Okay, so showed it, but it's blue. That is interesting. Why would it be blue? So let's just back to bootloader. So is alpha 2 consistently correct, and then alpha 1, or I mean alpha 3 and later consistently blue? Yeah. Alpha 2 draws correctly. So maybe with the icon example, maybe it's not that it is not drawing it at all, but maybe it's that it's only drawing the blue colors, and because the images that are used don't have any blue in them. What is this? There's an incompatible change in on-disk bitmap. That definitely sounds relevant. Let's check this out. Right. You remember this. Oh. Interesting. And this is this merged already? Is there a PR for this? Honestly, I feel like the search in GitHub does not work very good, if I could be quite frank about it. Because, like, that one worked. Honestly, I just don't believe that there have never been a PR that has on disk in it. I just don't believe that. Okay. On full words only, that would explain part of it. So the code in the Learn guide updated? No. This still says color converter. So the new code should be this, and if you wanted it to be cross-compatible with both, you would need it to be like this. Oh, neat. I've used getAdder before. I don't think I've ever used the third parameter. I'm guessing this is like get this attribute from this object, but if it doesn't have that attribute, then take this one instead. I never knew that getAdder could do that. That's pretty cool, actually. So if we just change it to be like this, would it then work? Okay, and right now I'm on beta 2, so it's working correctly. So let's go back up to beta 4. Thanks for tracking that down, the Samurai. I definitely saw this. I saw this PR go by, but did forget all about it, and I didn't realize that it was needing this specific change either. But this would certainly explain, because I doubt that IconWidget would have gotten this update either. Honestly, we might need to do a pass through libraries and learn guides for things that use on-disk bitmap. Okay, so that's on 4 now. It's back to being blue. Go like this. Oh. This would be bitmap. Yeah. Okay, let me test one more theory as well. I bet if we went back to this example, that's an even different error than we got before. Today is a bad day for consistency. Am I crazy? This was running before, right? $935. Boy, we've got some weirdness going on today. This is 72. So that's the same thing that we were seeing, actually, yeah. But it's worded differently. And we were not getting it every time, and now we are. Huh. Yeah, we have some very strange stuff going on here. Anyway, though, let's, I'm working on a theory that if we what? Okay, I'm getting more confused by the moment. CircuitPy drive, icons folder, icons play, 2 items, one item. And it's not the one that was just there. You folks saw that, right? This had that election cal thing here. And I opened it and it showed the election cal image. Refresh. 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 Okay. A little more consistent. Done the same thing a bunch of times in a row. Okay. So, you know what that was about? Okay. So here's my theory. My theory is if we had blue in this, that it would show the parts that were blue. Okay, so we need to go back to RGB. Want to get something blue? Why don't we just go all the way blue? And it doesn't really matter that much what we actually put. Let's just do that. Back to indexed. Convert. Save this. So this is really weird because it's always, when we get this error, it's always on the same line, but the actual error is different. Before it was saying, well, I can't scroll up to it. Before it was saying like 0 and 3, and now it's saying positional argument 6. Okay. My theory was wrong, though, because we still don't have any blue. I definitely think this is... I definitely think this is our issue. So, with regards to not drawing the icons. So it's .pixel shader. If we change this inside of the library, can it draw the one that's on disk true? Has no attribute pixel shader. Oh, I did that in the wrong spot. Yeah, this is image load. We got a third different type of error from line 72. This one thinks it's inside bitmap label. These are different every time. Line 91, the only variables that are used are quargs and font, and both are declared already because they're parameters of init. I'm gonna guess that that is basically the same issue that we've seen pop up a few times now. But for some reason, there is some inconsistency about which line it ends up coming from or what the specific error ends up being. But this one did show correctly now. So I do think this changes what's needed in order to get the icons showing correctly. So let's make a PR for that. The rest of this stuff is super weird. I would like to try to get to the bottom of it as well, but with it being such it being so inconsistent, I don't even know where to start trying to make a simplified example. Maybe we could try just the display text examples. But this does seem to work, so let's make a PR for this. We're gonna go up, gonna go checkout -b. Actually, we're gonna fetch because we merged lace and rise. So we need to fetch Adafruit. Now we want to go check out new branch. Name of it is fix ODB for on-disk bitmap. Buddy. Okay, has returned. All right. ODB is from Adafruit main, no track. Inside of here, we want image dot. Should we do the code that, maybe we should do the code that works for both. Yeah. Especially since 6.3.0 is still the stable release. Eventually we should come and change this, make the code more concise. But I think we should wait until 7 has a release, actually. Okay. That does work as well. And we should test 630. Make sure that that one doesn't crash now. PyPortal 630. All my libraries are going to be wrong. Okay. This one is now working on 630 and 7 beta 4 with the same code. So we will push this. Make sure I didn't change anything else accidentally. Looks good. Okay, so I committed this. It says origin. Origin is probably foamyguy. I would rather make it foamyguy though. Yeah. Name origin foamyguy. Here we go. It shows a ton of other changes here just because I haven't pushed to any of my branches anytime recently. But really the changes from this one are the only things that I'm actually pushing right now that are new. So we'll link to this. Okay. Does it look good? Um, there's probably a lot more places we need to change this. Maybe not a lot, I guess. Definitely some, though. One thing is the guide. Let's update this. So save it. We're going to get blue flowers first. Oh, no. I'm on 630, right? I'm on 630. Yeah. You're going to go back to bootloader. Okay. 20 libraries. Nice. That's not too bad. I'm guessing learn guide repo. There will be quite a few more, maybe in the learn guide repo than there are in libraries. And I think this code specifically is not in the repo. It's just embedded on the page. Hey, play with that. So we'll change it on the page here. And then maybe we'll run a grep in the learn guide repo and start trying to fix those as well. Okay, so we have blue flowers. We can grab that get adder. I think it's best to use the get adder one right now, at least until 7 is marked stable. Let's take this, let's put it in here. Make sure this works. Nope. Did I forget a parenthesis or something? Yeah. Yeah. Bitmap. We need to import. Import? Oops. Yeah. So I don't want to change it too much. We could change it to use the from syntax like this one is, from display.io, import tile grid on this bitmap, color converter, and also we need group. I think I want to leave it mostly alone though, truthfully. It's meant to be a very simple example. I don't want to, I mean, this is not that much extra complexity, but I don't want to add too much to it. So I think I'll go from, oh, no. We can do it this way, right? We have display.io. We can just say this. Yeah. Yeah, and now that's working. Okay. This code works. So let's copy all of this. I logged in. Yep. Is this? Close the editing page. Again, I'm a double checker, so I'm just going to take all of this same code and paste it right back in here and just double check that it's fine. Yeah, okay. Okay, so we're good to go there now. Let's look in the Learn Guide repo. Actually, let's take a detour real quick. Let's go to display text and see if we can recreate the issue with the init. Might not be able to though, honestly. This one is using label. We were in bitmap label before. I don't know if it's specific to one or the other. So incompatible MPY. Okay. Tough to see with the light there, but that one did work correctly. I'm just going to restart it a couple of times here and see if we ever get that same fail. Not looking like it. Okay, so let's try bitmap label. Nice, thank you. Let's go simple test, bitmap label. Okay, just gonna do this a couple of times. Yeah, this is what I was afraid of a little bit, is that, whoops, whatever was going on to cause, oh, I created a new tab, I see. Whatever was going on to cause that issue with the label init, it's not just as simple as it's broken in with bitmap label sometimes. It must be having something to do with, man, I don't even know what it could be, honestly. Somehow the way that it's used within the other library. So it does not look like we're able to make it fail this way. Oops. I think I don't have the font probably for this. Yeah. What is it? Barton. Oh, yeah, I sure did. Guessing that means I failed my actions run probably then. I shouldn't have deleted that. Yeah. Okay. So this one's a little bit more involved than the simple test, but not very much. It's basically just making 2 standard labels and 2 bitmap labels and trying to show the memory difference. Bitmap label tends to use less memory. But it's not failing either. So it really does seem like it's somehow related to something else, either something specific to IconWidget or maybe slightly more generally to do with the fact that the label is used from inside of another class. But either way, does not look like we're able to reproduce it with one of these examples. So leave that alone for now, because it's not consistent enough to make an issue out of right now, I don't think. We weren't getting the same error every time. We weren't even getting an error every time. Sometimes it was working. So we really need to try to narrow it down further, I think, to have a concrete issue to work off of. Let me fix, I'm guessing, my pre-commit. Thank you for the heads up on that, Lily Samurai. There's a lot of examples, I guess, is why it's doing that. While that's running, I'm going to run to the restroom real quick. Be right back. All right. This thing has finished. Pressed black this time. See what changed. Just split to a new line. Yeah. Okay. All right, so we were not able to recreate the text issue. I think what I'll do is let's go to the Learn Guide repo and search up on-disk bitmap, and maybe we can see how many instances are in there that are going to need changed for this pixel shader thing. So we should have it somewhere, but I don't know where it's at. Let's just go open. It's like Adafruit, yeah, learning system. Let's go this window. Let's go get, actually, let's go fetch Adafruit. Okay. Go back to main. Full. And now can go up, get grep. I think if we do this, maybe. Okay, that's not. Ooh. These ones are interesting. I'm not sure why it would have found stuff inside of a UF2. I think, is there a way to do line numbers? Oh, I see, we weren't there, okay. Saying it's not that bad. It is actually not that bad, okay. I mean, it's quite a few, but I don't know, maybe a couple dozen or something. Let's end, let's, I don't know how to end, enter, escape, I don't know. Oh, I think, is it this? WQ? Q? Q. Can you, there's like a way to do it with line numbers? Is it? Line number. In. Okay. Start fixing these. I don't know about these binary ones. I don't know why those would have on-disk map inside of them. I don't think there's anything we can change with those. Just take a look. This is in Arduino demos anyway. It'll pass through just UF2 files. Right. Yeah, there it is. Huh. I don't know what those UF2s are. I don't know. I mean, this says ESP32 Arduino demos, so maybe Arduino also has an on-disk bitmap and something like that's going on inside of it. We will skip the UF2 ones because we really are interested in actual like Python, right? CircuitPython code. So Buckaroo Plant Care, that's the first one. Make this like that. Start working down the list here. Also, while we are here, actually, let's make this bigger for one more second. Let's go get grep max size and get a look at how bad this one's going to be for us. Yeah, it's quite a lot. Okay. I don't know if there's a great way to get a count. I guess I could do grep and then that word count thing that you folks showed me earlier. Let me actually try and see if I can. My Linux has slowly gotten better as time has gone on, but there's still stuff like this that I'm not like super great at figuring out. So if we were to go just grep this into WC. No. This wants more stuff. WC. X line length lines. So -L. Well, we would not be doing grep though, right? We don't need grep, do we? No, I don't think we need grep. There we go, 208. Search string. Right, yeah, get grep. Yeah, I guess, yeah, I should have been. We don't need terminal grep, we need just get grep. Search string. I did -n, which gives me line numbers. We wouldn't really have to do that for this, but then WC. Does it look like WC should work by itself? Oh yeah, it does, doesn't it? Okay, there we go. So then we get lines, words, characters. Was that the last one? I forgot what the last one was. Okay, so 208. So we do have quite a few things there to change. Curious, actually, what does this one show up? I want to keep that terminal clean though, so I'm going to do it over here. 65. Bad. Some of those are the UF2 ones as well, so. Okay. So here's the lines that are going to change, and what does this run on? It runs on a clue. I think we should do the get adder version because, again, there's not a stable release of 7 yet. And it needs the on-disk bitmap instance, which is always going to have a different name. So we can't really just like copy paste one thing over and over again. Like this pass this time around, so that's good. Oh, you know what? Here's how I keep ending up with a missing parenthesis. This comment actually has a missing parenthesis. That's why I keep ending up like that. Oh, and we will need display IO converter as well, actually. Let me work on this, actually. Let's go like this. Do it like this. No. Let's go no space. Okay. All right, now we just go on down the line. We got our 2 from this one. Next is in the egg drop, clue egg drop. CL clue egg. I chain, what is that one? Christopher Dunn. Hexagrams. Reading. Here. Okay, this one is on their own new lines already. Paste both. Okay. The hand wash timer. Got 2 in here as well. Oh, here's a max size also. I think we should keep the PRs separate though. Tempted to just change it since I'm here, but we should try to keep them in separate PRs. Also, I should be making a branch. Let me do that before I get too much farther here. New branch, name. Let's go pixel shader fix from main track. Okay. So I need that still, don't I? Next up, CPB AMS Gizmo. One instance inside of here. Ah, I see. That's why there's only one instance, because this one refactored it into a function. does actually use it multiple times, but because it's wrapped in a function, it does it makes it so we only have to change one spot. It's pretty cool. This thing doesn't stay highlighted. Okay. Start closing these. PBANCS. CircuitPy. 92. Same thing. Probably the same author, I'm guessing. Say up here? Is it maybe Katney? I'm not sure. Katney did a bunch of work on the gizmo, I think, but I don't actually know. ANCS 92. We want to copy this again. Alright, so we're gonna be getting a little repetitive from here on out, I'm guessing, for the rest of this stream, but gotta do the work that needs to be done. Let's go ODB. Okay. Kepler's MP3 player is in CircuitPython. These are not alphabetical. Interesting. I wonder what order those come in. Display IO guide too. It'll show up, right? Oh, this code is in GitHub. But it was just embedded on the page. I actually used this GitHub version of it. Anyway, though, we're not on that one yet. We're on JPlayer. JPlayer. Or maybe it's supposed to be JE player. CircuitPy 129. Here we go. Bitmap. Pylon? No, Piloton. Piloton? But no, piloton.py. 158. Okay. Once again. I'm almost tempted to. In fact, I think I'm going to do that. I think I'm going to go new file, temp, text. Oh, we don't want to add it. I think this will stay. Yeah, this will stay highlighted, I'm pretty sure. We'll take this down a little bit. The other thing I could do actually is we could set up a macro pad to paste this code so that then I wouldn't actually have to copy it each time. I don't know if that would end up saving time in the long run, maybe. We want bitmap 1. Map 1, is there a bitmap 2? Peloton, we did only have one instance in here, so. Interesting that there's a bitmap 1. Maybe I should have searched on Pixel Shader instead of on this bitmap. I think, though, this is going to reveal all the same stuff, so. RGB matrix is next. Is in CircuitPython all the way back up here. Python, RGB matrix. And we got two instances, fruit and tiled. Fruit and tiled. Copy. Fruits line 22. This one does not create the tile grid right away. Yeah, so that's extending tile grid. So when it's calling super, this is where we would change it. Keeping us on our toes here. Go. And tile line 43. This one's here is creating the tile grid pixel shader right here. Oops. Can't do Alt Tab. You know what we could do though? Temp.text. If we put this over here, we could do Alt Tab. Bitmap is okay. Yep, here's our display IO one. Bitmap. Yeah, that's much quicker actually, because I don't have to use the mouse to switch. Bitmap. Okay. Next up is step counter clue. This is, they're in such a strange order. I don't know. I mean, it's seemingly random. I assume though there's some kind of pattern to it. On 64. Tile grid. It would be like mega overkill probably for doing this, but theoretically we could write a script that would find these and then paste in the right code and then copy in the name of the bitmap from earlier in the parameter string. But probably spend about as much time doing all of that as I would just brute forcing all the rest of these. So, oh, it looks like I skipped one actually too. SD card, SDIO, Python. Here, this is in bitmaps. No, we don't have the bitmaps. Then show bitmaps. 20. Okay, here's our tile grid. Bitmap. Okay, we did step counter, I think, right? So I did one out of order there. Yep, already blue. E-ink quick start. And got two instances, 213. Oh, no, we got FW badge and shield badge. 74. This is 70. Okay, this one is 70. Here we go. Yeah, that part was just a bitmap, not an on-disk bitmap. Oh, nice, sorted. We'll get it there. Huh, that's another new one. Sort. Nice. Thank you. These are the kind of tips and tricks I should definitely put to use. WC and sort. Okay. Good. Halloween cat toy. Not open. And Pi 75. Jump scare trap. Only one file. That's on line 98. Sprite. Not familiar with Sprite. I didn't even know there was a Sprite. What does that do? Nice. Thank you for trying this out, Last Samurai. Oh, yeah. Good catch. Thank you for that. Let me change that. Let me look at these docs real quick. What does this Sprite do? Does this exist still? Need display. This search works better than GitHub in my experience, but is a little slow, truthfully. So, display. If I say that, I get to a page that doesn't really have what I need. If we go here, we can get to it. This might just be an old thing. I don't think we have a Sprite still. As a class, at least. Yeah. So I'm guessing this one just will not work on modern CircuitPython. I don't know when display.io had a Sprite class. You can see here even PyCharm is not able to find it in the stubs. So this one probably needs to be changed a little bit more to, this should be using tile grid like all the rest of these. I think what I'll do on this one maybe is just make an issue for it. That way I can remember to come back and do it. I don't know why this doesn't always show. Adafruit, I guess that's why. Was it trap? Jump scare trap. CircuitPython 3. Nice. I didn't even know. I think actually that this must have been of like I want to say 4 is really when display IO became like the more de facto standard. So this must be like the first versions of display IO that ever existed, my guess. Maybe they had Sprite and then eventually it changed to tile grid. It's awesome though. Don't forget about it. Maybe we could link as well, I think that'd be good. I like to put links in my issues and PRs just so it's easier for folks to what I'm talking about. Okay, let me take a quick break from doing these and let's do this suggestion. Thank you again for checking into this list, Samurai. And yeah, this is totally right. We definitely want to change it in the comment as well. So that. IconWidget. Oh yeah, adding a comment, I guess, not changing the comment, but yeah, this is definitely still a good example. Or I mean a good suggestion, rather. It's cutting out here. Let's run pre-commit. Only once, right? Yep, good thing we did too, because it had black. What? Yeah. That's fine. I'm not actually going to check it in, so it's not going to fail on the actual actions. That's the only thing that failed though, right? Oh, wait, it's still doing the pilot. Yeah. Okay. We got going here. Dev? Huh? You guys can't hear that, but it makes that sound in my ear when I turn it on. What's a new sound? I don't even know what that one means. Alright, well, I won't mess with this too long. There we go. Okay. There we go. This is now here. Yes. Okay, that is the only thing that failed, and it's because of my temp text, but it's not pushed in, so it's not actually going to be a problem. That pushed. Now we're back to this. Did I create that issue the rest of the way? I did, yeah, okay. So next one from here is tour guide, Halloween tour guide. $68. This one also does sprite. Okay, why don't we just add it to the sure, I guess there's probably a couple more of these that are going to end up needing it, but I'll just keep adding comments as I find them. This one was tour guide. Also needs this same update. Okay, jump sound. I guess probably same thing, maybe. Yep. Oh, no. Hold on. Jump sound. This is in jump sound 86. No, this one's tile grid. Okay. So stomp and roar. 83. Kitty paw, p-pad. P-pad? Oh, it didn't open. This is interesting. Wonder if that's done on purpose. 56. Grid? Tag Christmas countdown. $23. Okay. Washer status. Got 2. Wake on button, wake on flip. I closed one. Wake on button. 22. And 48. Magic 9 ball. Mag tag. It would be nice to go back and do the sorted one, but now that I've made it a bunch of the way through the list, I think I'm just going to keep rolling. That way I don't have to like try to skip ones that are already done. Couple more binaries. Matrix Portal Moon Clock. Oh, missed it twice. 199 and also 366. Matrix Portal Tip Jar. 71. File grid. Matrix Sprite Animation Player. See? Oops, we want bitmap. Pathfinder? I wonder what that does. A Pathfinder. So, touch. 93 and 95. Maybe I should have done them both at once. Okay. Auto 75 103. Oh, I just did copy instead of paste. I did it again. Alright, get to the point where I'm this a little too many times. Starting to flub it a little bit. Let's see. iGamer improved thermal camera. Six. So there's extra parenthesis because it's inside of call to append. That does make sense. Thermal camera. Or thing here. Guessing black will reformat some of these. AWS IoT Planter. Portal. $36. Oh, GFX helper. Huh. I'm guessing this is some kind of backwards compatible code as well, this position equals. I don't recall ever seeing that before. Okay. Portal alarm clock. 265. Same thing going on here. My guess is that this exception could probably be removed. I don't actually know though. So 339 also. Gotcha. Position was replaced with XY. I'm gonna leave them for now though, just in the interest of keeping my PR down to one thing. Azure Plant Monitor. VFX Helper. 33. Cal US. See how close we are here. Getting pretty close. And graphics, I'm guessing. Yep. 31. All right. What? Graphics 143. I read the line number wrong. Okay. Okay. Is that a recent change? This election cal, I know that's the project Scott was working on like this last year, I think. Surprised that it's got that in there. Maybe this is something different though. BCP IoT planter. This is in X helper. 37. Maybe this just got copy pasted, honestly. Okay, open weather graphics. And 31. Yeah, it seems like these maybe just got copy pasted a bunch of times. If I keep finding them, I might even put icon in there and then I'll have less copy paste to do, but smart thermometer. Helper. 34. Oh, why am I doing this like this? I can click on these links and it will open for me. That is totally what I should be doing. Okay. This was what? Smart thermometer helper, Titano weather station. Yeah. Could have been saving so much time. Of course, now as soon as I make that icon one, we've go right back to not having it. It's tile grid. Crash bitmap. Complete bitmap. That was 49 and 55, 61 also. We got one more here. Eat bitmap. And also weather graphics. This is using icon one. I'll probably wrap up the stream after I get done with these. Six uses image. Okay. Matrix. I've seen a few of these ones too. Tile map game. This one's mine actually. It's bitmap, tile grid. Uses ODB. Vertical garden barometer. Two of them. Oh, that's wrong though, yeah. Go. Okay. Voice to JSON. That's kind of fun. What goes on in there? This one's bitmap. Oh, it's edge. But huh. Does it use kind of want to look in the guide for this voice to JSON edge detection. Is that using they call that it's like the machine learning that can work on the edge badge? Drawing a blank on the name forever right now. Voice JSON. Edge speech. Huh. Okay, it's in bitmap, or I mean it's in Blinka, must be. I don't think I've seen this project before. That's really cool. This is one of the nice things about doing these big sweeping updates in the Learn Guide repo is like you run across all kinds of Learn Guides that you didn't know about. Weather display. Here's our tile grid. This one's background. So 7, a little bit down here. Yep. Icons. helper. This one is icon. And one more. Weather station helper. Is icon as well. That's the end of the list. So maybe one thing we could do is confirm that there are no more of these. If this wants quotes when there's weird characters. So, seemed like I missed some. Oh, the sprite ones. The sprite ones. I just straight up missed this one. Oh yeah, I did the one above it, but not the, okay. It's a good thing I did this double checking. This is icon. One more here. Also icon. Okay, so now we should only have the sprite ones left. Which we do, yeah. Okay. Nice. Glad I ran that again. Close all these. All right, let's go fixes for pixel shader on disk bitmap tile grids. Okay. It. Going to foamyguy, pixel shader fix. Doesn't seem like that long of a list though. Maybe that's all of them. Yeah, I guess as I scroll a little bit slower, it does. Okay. foamyguy. Alright, so I'll make this PR and then I'll wrap up after that. It did turn out we only found 2 of those. Although I guess we could also maybe do grab display.io.sprite. Three. Oh, cat toy. Maybe I changed. It's like I changed cat toy maybe without meaning to actually. Yeah. Let me undo that. It's just main, okay. Yeah. Got going on autopilot there, and I changed this one when I really shouldn't have, probably. I mean, it needs to be changed anyway to not use sprite, but I think we want to undo that just because if someone did happen to be on CircuitPython 3 and they try to use it, it probably wants the old code. Oh, you know what? I never ran pre-commit either. I'm sure that probably did not pass actions. Well, I haven't made PR yet, but got pre-commit set up. No. Can you run black on multiple files? Really, I only want to run it on the ones that I changed, though. Maybe these don't get black run on them? I'm not sure. I guess what I'll do is just push it for now, and then we'll see if it fails on the actual actions when they run. Might not be a super easy way, though, to just have it run on all the things that I changed, unfortunately. Linked it here, I think, right? Just call it bitmap, I guess, even though there's different names for all of them. Well, for most of them. Yeah. The workflow is based on Arduino, not CircuitPython, I see. So that's probably why it doesn't have pre-commit and black in it. I do think there's pylint, although fingers crossed, I'm hoping that our changes probably won't trip pylint. take a very quick stroll through these and just make sure nothing looks super out of whack. I could trip Pylent, I think. New line at the end, or is that a black thing? I'm not sure. Okay. Top. All right. I think I'm going to wrap it up there. Appreciate all you folks tuning in to watch. Definitely huge thanks, Lay Samurai. Been a huge help to find these things and track them down, and also the little tips and tricks for Linux. Definitely appreciate all of the help on everything, honestly, all of this stuff, all the Mac size stuff and everything else. So thank you again for everything you do. And that's gonna do it for today. I will be back for sure next week, same time, 10 a.m. Saturday. Possibly in the interim, I haven't done any other streams really in the evenings, and I am teaching this week still, so I don't know if I'll end up here in the evenings, but definitely next week, Saturday, 10 a.m. the normal time, I'll be back. So if you're interested, you can catch me again then. And yeah, that's gonna do it for now. I hope everyone has a good day and good afternoon. And good weekend, I should say as well. Alrighty, bye folks.